Nick Hall's been called the Billy Graham of the next generation, and he even has the blessings of the evangelist himself. Well, next month, Nick is going to be hosting a massive event in our nation's capital with 1 million people coming together around Jesus.
Nick Hall became a Christian as a child in North Dakota in the 1990s. Since then, he's talked to hundreds of thousands of people about Jesus on college campuses, in churches, and in concerts across America. One day, Nick came up with an idea to gather 1 million people in Washington, D.C. In 2013, he talked to Billy Graham, who said to go for it. Nick and his team are now preparing for the largest gathering of its kind for this generation. The one-day event will happen on July 16th, 2016.
Well, Nick Hall is here with us now. And Nick, welcome to the 700 Club.
Hey, so glad to be here.
This is quite a vision. Talk a little bit about Together 2016 and how that whole thing came to pass in your heart and mind.
Yeah, well, we just believe it's time to come together. Moments of historic change are often marked by historic gatherings. And so this generation really hasn't seen a united Jesus moment. And so we started praying about this about 10 years ago. And for 5 years, we've been working towards it. We were part of some really big events, but we're like, you know what? Nothing's big enough.
Yeah.
We're always in competition with each other. So what would it look like if we all came together on one day to seek Jesus?
Unity. What a novel idea.
Yeah, totally, totally. Sometimes we need to learn from our kids, right?
Yeah. You know, I as I was reading your book, Reset, which we'll talk about in a minute, I just so related to it because I came to Christ during the Jesus movement in the 70s. And often when I tell my children or their friends about what it was like then, it's so hard for them to imagine because it swept the country. Are you looking for that kind of a movement again?
Absolutely. I mean, we were students in North Dakota. We were praying, and we started to find all these old stories of First and Second Great Awakening and Azusa and the Jesus People movement, right? In California, finding people swimming in their backyard, coming home and saying, what's going on? They say, we just got saved. We thought you had a pool. Let's get baptized.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You know, we need God to do that again.
Yes.
Everybody says we need Jesus. And we just believe, man, it's time to put feet to our faith. It's time to gather. It's what the Bible calls for time and again, that when my people seek my face, right, when they humble themselves. And so we're praying for that. That's what Reset's about. It's about the second chance he offers. And we all need it. We need Jesus. I need Jesus.
Everybody. You know, the world we live in today, even more so than in the 70s, I think, is so jaded and filled with stuff that just kind of pulls you away from what matters.
Totally.
And there is that hunger inside of people. You had a great thing happen yesterday, word that a special guest is going to be a part of what you're doing on the Mall. Talk about that.
Well, Pope Francis is sending a video greeting and blessing to the National Mall Together. And again, we just believe this is a demonstration of what God's doing in our day. This isn't about one church or one movement or one organization. This is about Jesus, and this is about welcoming people from all backgrounds to come.
And it's about believers, I think, all saying, something needs to happen here. Something big needs to happen here. I know that Billy Graham has always been someone you have looked up to. And people are calling you the Billy Graham of this generation, but you actually have had a chance to meet him. What was that like?
You know, it was an honor, obviously, and anytime you can be mentioned in the same breath as somebody like Dr. Graham, it's incredibly humbling. You know, I think what people are saying is that our generation needs some voices that are just lifting up the hope of Jesus. And, you know, when I met Dr. Graham, I was so just impressed and struck by every question I asked him. The answer was spend time with Jesus, pray to Jesus, get in the Word. It was all Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And I'm like, man, this guy is the real deal. And that's what we want to be. I mean, we just want to love him and seek Jesus and go after him.
You know, we've just touched on the fact that this generation of young people has become jaded by a lot of what's going on in the world around them and distracted, and technology has invaded. How do you reach a generation right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the time is now to be bold and to get into the places of influence again. And that's where this message of Reset comes in, because we believe that there's a second chance that God is offering. And so this term kind of came out of us praying and seeing so many students come to faith, but they didn't understand, what does it mean to be a Christian or a disciple?
Why do I need this?
Totally. And so we started talking about, you know how your phone needs a reset, your computer needs a reset, it gets messed up, you download the wrong files. Reset means to get it working toward its created purpose. We said, man, Jesus offers the ultimate reset. And so it just started this movement. And again, we've just been seeing this is from the ground up. I like to tell parents and grandparents, this is an answer to your prayers.
Yes.
If you've been asking for a generation to be changed, God's doing it. We've seen 500,000 young people in the last few years come to faith. And that's in the U.S. People always think it's happening here and there, but not here. No, man, God is moving now.
And honestly, you know, the reset you write so eloquently about in the book is really what we're all going to blow it.
Yeah.
Until we go to heaven.
Totally.
I mean, from time to time, we're going to fall even after we know Jesus. But the reset button is available every day, all day.
Every day, all day.
And that's a message. I mean, where else are you going to get that in the world today?
You know, we like to tell people, man, this isn't a message for them, whoever they are. Right, man, I would say, no, reset's for me. Of all the people that need a reset, I'm the first one in line. And so I tell people, man, if you need Jesus, you're invited to come too. Just don't get in front of me because I was here first. Right? And so this is a position of humility. This isn't a position of we have it. You know, and even on the National Mall, it's, oh man, this isn't a gathering of perfect people. No, we're gathering as imperfect people around the perfect one. Because he's the one that offers the reset that we all need. And often those of us with faith are the ones that need that kind of reset, that restart again.
So how do people, I mean, there's still time. How do people become part of the million on the mall?
They got to come. Reset2016.com. They can tell us they're coming. I've been telling people, this is a once-in-a-generation gathering. And so whatever you have planned, it's lame. You need to cancel it. And you need to get there. Young, old, grandparents, grandkids, college students. Road trip it. Get on an Uber. There's busways that you can sign up for a seat on a bus. There's no excuse.
Time to show up and be counted and be there.
It's time.
And you know, for those who are walking with Christ and who've hit the reset button and know how powerful it is, this is the chance to go and stand next to someone who's coming for the first time and declare the power and the goodness.
That's right.
Of God.
I mean, again, we're just saying, what would happen if we all came? Just imagine, people are coming from all 50 states. People are coming from around the world. What's God going to do when we come with expectation? You know, and obviously there's going to be Francis Chan and Hillsong United and Ravi Zacharias and a lot of great people, but ultimately we're not coming to hear from some person. We're coming to hear from heaven. And so that's what we're praying, that God's going to touch earth that day.
He's going to show up. He says he will.
Amen.
He says he will. Just want to say that one of the reasons I think this is such an exciting event is it's been prayed over for 5 years. It takes place on July 16th in Washington, D.C. Listen, you don't want to miss it. You can sign up by going to reset2016.com. Nick's also an author. We've been talking about his book, Reset. Jesus changes everything. He does. Be a part of it. You don't want to miss it. This book is available nationwide. God bless you.
Hey, thanks so much, Terry.
Very exciting.